Hello, welcome back to Sacred Vapes, the channel that aims to bring you the views and experiences of products on the market today, brought to you by an average vapor. Now, I've got a very special product for you. I've had a chance to get this video out and I definitely wanted to bring this out to you. It's something that I've hyped up for a while. It's this, the Scent Screen Tank. Now, very interesting design. Scent are one of them companies that they're not mainstream, but they should be. I mean, a lot of their products, like the Cyclone, like the Heracles, that's up to version 3 now. Absolutely amazing products, but they've just never had the real market appeal. Only hardcore fans have really stuck to them. So this represents something that potentially could make them mainstream, but is it worth it? Does it back the hype up? Right, before we get into it, let's give her a vape. Now what you get, now I've actually got two of these tanks. You get resin design and you get the wood design. Basically that's made out of wood and the bottom's made out of wood. The resin design, obviously plastic. If you've seen the marketing for the colour options, they're quite terrible. They're not really accurate. They're not even like a real picture. But yeah, this is two of the options that you can get for this tank. The selling point with this, it doesn't come with a single mesh coil. It comes with, well, in the box it'll come with a dual mesh and it'll come with a triple mesh. And there's a quad mesh coming out for it. But basically, yeah, in this tank I've got the dual mesh, and this one I've got the triple. I'll just go through all the general ideas. Replaceable 810 drip tip, even on the wooden one. You've got the top fill, let me just find it. It's like a little arrow at the side. Push that back, kidney hole design. You have bottom adjustable airflow. You have bubble glass, holds up to 7 mils of liquid out the box. And I say the two coils, you have 0.23, is it? Yeah, 0.23 for the dual mesh, which is rated up until 150. And then this is 0.34 for the triple, and it's rated up to 120. But how do you vape? Now, for the purposes of this review, I mean, I've been trying both the coils out. I've been trying them over a few weeks, to really get a good idea. And from last night's video, you would have seen me using the Mesh Pro, and that's because I wanted to get a good idea of how they do compare, which I think is really interesting because they're the only real multi-mesh on the market that are really in competition with each other. Most of them are single mesh. So, how did you compare? Well, I'll get into that in just a few moments. I'll go through the pros and cons first, and then you understand why I want to get into it. But first pro for me is the flavour. Now, a liquid review I'm hoping I'm going to bring to you guys this week is the Shaken Vape. You may not have heard of them. It's quite a new company. But when I picked up a few of their liquids, one of them was mango. And I'd never had mango before. So it's when this tank had arrived, I primed it up with the mango. One of the nicest vapes I've ever had. That's a compliment for both the liquid and the tank. Just absolutely incredible. First pro out the box is the flavour. It's brilliant. It really does put itself top end of the market for flavour. I mean, I'm vaping the Green Monster from Shaken Vape at the minute. Just really nice flavour. Next pro with the vape is the smoothness. You get a really smooth vape. Now, it's not completely smooth. You still get that little tiny bit of harshness you get from the nicotine from your liquid, but generally the overall flavour is fantastic with that smoothness. So with the amount of vapour production you're getting, especially when you're vaping at 100 plus watts. You know, it's really, really enjoyable. I mean, this dual mesh is rated anywhere between 80 and 150. I've been vaping this about 80. I mean, I'll let the purpose of the review, let's turn her up to 105. That's a big jump for me. Now I do start to get a little bit of a dryness when I do turn it up, so I would recommend staying about 80-90 watts with that coil. So I wouldn't listen to the recommended on that one. But yeah, Next Pro for me is the designs. I mean, resin designs are a dime a dozen, but I really like. I mean, it's like the purpley and it's a really nice looking tank, and like getting the wooden. You know, the first wooden tank on the market. Now I did question that why, what would be wooden about it, and then I realised there was only certain things that could be. So a little bit of naivety there. I didn't expect a wooden bubble glass or anything, but yeah, I really like the designs. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Very simple as well. Next Pro for me, plenty of airflow. Nice airflow. It's not felt. It doesn't feel like it's overly done. Especially again when you're putting the power into the tanks, works really well for me. Next Pro for me, that fill design. I mean, I'm a massive fan of the screw-off design, but again, similar to the Mesh Pro, gonna be comparisons. Just nice and easy. No messing about. And yeah, they're the main pros, I'd say. Basically flavour, vapour production, smoothness, just ease of use. It really is brilliant. Now on to the cons. First con for me is them resistances. They are a little bit misleading. Now what I've found with the Drag 2 is the way it, as I said in the review, it predicts what the wattage should be at, which is fine. But I've noticed with some tanks, the wattage seems to go up massively. And for this, I mean, the dual mesh rated up to 150, remember? It goes down to 70 as the recommended. So I think they got the recommended on the coils completely wrong. As I say, I started getting dry hits then, little twinge them when I pushed it up to 105. I've been really happy at 80. So that's a bit of a con for me. Next con is that there's no clasp on this. I mean, as I say, it's a Pro that it's easy, but there is no clasp and there's nothing really to secure that in place. Next con, to be honest, I can't really think of any other cons. I think the smoothness can act like a con a little bit, simply because it doesn't give you that massive throat hit unless you're vaping this with like 6-7 milligram of milligram of nicotine. Then basically you're gonna get much more of a smoother vape compared to other tanks on the market. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, there's not really any cons. There's nothing really that I can say bad about it. So to sum up where I got to before, which is better, the Mesh Pro or the Sense Screen? Now bear with me a sec, I'm just changing over to the triple mesh just to give you an idea of the triple mesh. Basically, using the pair of them recently, they both win in different categories. If you want something, I mean, that triple mesh is recommended at 65 there. But yeah, if you want to go for like a throat hit, then the Mesh Pro is better for it. For flavour, they're quite even. I'd say the Sense Screen slightly edges the flavour, slightly. Definitely when you add the smoothness into it, it's better. Juice consumption, Sense Screen better by far. In fact, I can't believe how quickly the Mesh Pro drank me liquid, especially again at a dual mesh 80 watts, similar amount. For vapor production, I'd say the Mesh Pro is slightly better on that. I did find it chucking clouds a little bit more than the SenScreen, but that's not a negative towards the screen. That's just experience. I mean, the triple mesh, this is 115, so it's near the top of the recommended. Now, you get more vapor production and more flavour. So it leads me on to the overall. Which tank is better? For a dual mesh, I mean, I love the dual mesh on the Mesh Pro. I loved it on the SenScreen. The best dual mesh tank is the Mesh Pro. It is. It slightly edges it for me. Once you can deal with that, that liquid consumption. The best triple mesh is the SenScreen, by far. I mean, just to give you an example of how good these coils are. They keep up. I mean, I won't go on for much longer doing that, but I've done that before. I've chain vaped 8-9 times in a row, and it's just kept up with it. Brilliant. So the triple mesh blows the triple mesh of the Mesh Pro out the water by far. Dual mesh, I'd say the Mesh Pro is better, but what I found with the Mesh Pro, I may have said it in the review all those months ago, that I found the triple mesh and the dual mesh were actually quite similar. And the triple mesh didn't really add that much to me, just a shorter vape. With this, keeps the coolness of what you want from a mesh vape. So it's a little bit shorter than the dual mesh pull, but it's still a lot longer than I found with the triple mesh on the Mesh Pro. So overall, I would say if you're picking this up, pick it up for that triple mesh coil, because it is absolutely fantastic. So overall, absolutely fantastic tank this the Sense has brought. It really is. It deserves to be on the market now as one of the best tanks, because it really, really is. I can't stress that enough. It's pretty much been a mainstay tank for me over the past few weeks. You know, the fact it's took this long to get this review to you, it's because I was enjoying using it so much. I will say the coil life, I found again the triple mesh one is longer and it is better. I found the dual mesh about a week and a half. I was putting several flavours through it, so that may be why I've stressed the coil a little bit too much. But the triple mesh, as I say, this is still the first triple mesh coil that I've got, and it's still going strong. It really is. I'm still getting fantastic flavour from it, and you know, this has definitely had about 2-3 weeks worth of use on and off, so absolutely fantastic. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next up, it arrived today, so I'm going to do a full review of the Crown 4 kit. I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to get used to using the mod. So that video, hopefully this weekend, I'm going to bring to you, and then from there I'm just going to wing it, see what else to start using. I'm hoping to bring the Artery Baton to you guys. Very interesting device, that single 21700 device. But as always, really appreciate you watching. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed already, drop a subscribe. We've got loads of exciting products coming up, certainly in the next couple of weeks and going into the new year as well. So definitely stick around for that. As always, stay safe. And keep vaping.